Award-winning radio, 103DI. Your station, it's all about you. Award-winning radio. On 103 FM. Bottisford, Saxby, Eastwell, Kinalton, Gamston, Cropwell, Melton Mowbray. This is 103DI. 103DI. Your station, it's all about you.
Well, hello, George Icke here with you on 103 The Eye, getting you home on Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to be having a chat with some young people, all 16, currently doing NCS. They're raising awareness about period poverty because it's a massive issue in the UK and it's time we addressed it. I'm going to be chatting to these 4 people in about 10 minutes' time. But before we do that, I'm going to play you this one. Now, this isn't what we should be doing because we do care about period poverty. Cheesy link. There we go, traders. Whoop whoop. But Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran don't care. Here we go. 103 The Eye, 103 FM, and online.
I'm at a party I don't wanna be at.
It's all about you. 103 The Eye.
Okay, period poverty. Now, NCS stands for National Citizen Service, and today I'm joined by some young people in the studio who've been doing their service this summer. They're all 16. It's aimed at 15, 17-year-olds, was founded 8 years ago by David Cameron, and I'm particularly keen to speak to these young people today because I believe that our generation gets a lot of negative reactions and bad press at times when there are plenty of people out there trying to make a massive difference, and that's just what these people who I'm speaking to today are working towards to try and end period poverty. Now, without going too deep into the background of this, basically it's linked to the economic struggle to put food on the table each day, which means sanitary products are sometimes forgotten or deemed to be a luxury, which they are most definitely not. Now, guys, this is something that before I was approached by you guys to have a chat with you, I had never heard of. So, is that why 1 in 3 females in the UK is struggling with it? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, I think it's not a very well-known issue in our area or in England just in general. It's a very taboo subject, so people don't really want to talk about it. People aren't aware of how period poverty can affect women in our country. I think it's a huge issue which people need to talk about it more.
Okay, so firstly, what made you decide this was a project you wanted to get involved with?
Well, as a male, I think it's safe to say that most of us are uninformed of this issue, never mind the prevalence of it. So after learning that 49% of girls miss a day of school due to period poverty, I realised how important it is to raise awareness and just spread the existence of this issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. I mean, talking to some of my colleagues, I know that we were completely unaware of this actually being an issue. But girls, from your perspective, are you aware of it happening in school?
Not really. We don't hear much about it. I feel like the fact that even a girl, before talking about this and properly looking into it, I didn't even know the bigger picture, how many people it affects in our country. And it could happen to people at school, but because people don't talk about it, you don't know, and that's why I feel like it's such a big problem.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the struggle to talk about it actually only perpetuates the situation, making it worse. How's it going to impact others around you, and what's the ultimate goal of your work?
It's just to spread awareness around so that people know how much of a problem it is. And a lot of people find it embarrassing and have the embarrassment of things like this, and it's to save the embarrassment to people.
Okay, and how can people support your project or pledge? What can people do to help you guys?
People can help by supporting the framework charity and donating the sanitary products. Also, talking to others to help raise the awareness of the issue is a help. Because lots of people struggle with it and it needs to be known more around England.
Okay, fantastic. Right, Jess Glynn, One Touch on the way for you now. And very shortly I'll be checking in again with these guys and we'll have a little bit more of a chat about what's happening with period poverty in the UK. Jess Glynn, Jax Jones on 103 The Eye.
Hold me close before the crazy come. Until you're done with running, I'll be patient. 'Cause I know you'll be there. And I never had a plan for this. When waters rough, you will still be there. You'll be there beside me. With just one touch, you're always there on mine. You'll be there. When waters rough, you will still
Jessica Lynn and Jack Shones, One Touch. Right, chatting again to my guests now in the studio, and I do actually just need to mention that we are obviously now in the school holidays. Now, it's a big issue around the East Midlands with school meals. A lot of children and young adults are eligible for free school meals, which means that the summer holidays, well, every school holidays can be a struggle for those families. Now, earlier this year in March, the government announced that schools must retain free sanitary products behind the main reception. So, whilst that doesn't tackle a permanent issue, it does mean that children do have some supplies. Is this going to be having a big impact on children this holidays?
I believe it's gonna help them, but I don't think it's like gonna help them in the long term, as they won't be able to remain at school to the point where they can help themselves out. So I think we should tackle the problem from like a wider angle, not only schools.
Okay, fantastic. And girls, obviously you've been looking at getting collection points in local shops, haven't you? Is that how people can support you, or can they donate cash?
Yeah, so we've been setting up some collection points around Nottingham. And we've done, I did a talk in my church and we raised money for that. We're going into Nottingham later in the week just to help spread awareness, because I feel like donating money is obviously great, but in the long term I think raising awareness is more important, because if it's just a short term thing, people are going to forget about it. If we get more people talking about it, then in the future it will have more of an impact in our society.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, like I say, I genuinely didn't know about it. So from that point of view, I was quite surprised to hear it was such a big issue. If girls are struggling over the school holidays because they don't have access to free sanitary products, what can they do? Who can they look to for help? Because I know that you guys are working with one agency in Nottingham that are looking to get help to young people that are struggling.
Yeah, so we're working with Framework. We called them to talk about how we could support them and they could support us. So what we're going to do is any money raised and any sanitary products that we collect are going to be donated to them. So if people find that they've got unused sanitary products at home in their cupboards and they have any spare change, then they can go into Framework, donate it. There's also places like Emmanuel House and the Friary Drop-In around Nottingham, which are all homeless shelters, which all help homeless people in our community. So yeah, they're really good places to donate to. Fantastic,
thank you very much. Sorry, I was thrown a bit there. We've just had our new studio assistant Reggie join us in the studio. A bit smaller than most of them, but Cocker Spaniel is very helpful in the studio. I hope you've not unplugged anything. Right, so Framework, if you need to get in touch, if you're in Nottingham and looking for support, Framework, you can get in touch with them 0115 841 7711. If you're in Melton and you need support, you can contact Storehouse on Melton 669 146. If you're outside of Melton, that's 01664 669 146. Guys, thank you very much for coming on to your local radio station 103 The Eye to have a chat with me today. You've really opened my eyes to the issue, and hopefully the eyes of my listeners as well, because we didn't understand this was such a big problem, and letting us know that people don't need to battle this on their own and that there are agencies to support them. So keep in touch with us and let us know of any progress so that we can update our listeners, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Broadcasting on FM, online and on your smart speaker. This is George Icke on 103 The Eye.